Hi, so for math today, we're doing reading a bar graph for sports, okay? So the page looks like this. Looks just like this, and it's going to be about playing sports, okay? So let's get started. There's going to be a lot of handwriting in this one. So you can either have someone write it and you trace it, or you could just circle things, okay? So for the first one, I would do probably tracing because it's harder to find something to circle for it. Okay, so first it says, can you identify the x-axis on this graph? What does it show? Okay, so here we have, on one side it shows you the sports, and then on the bottom it's the number of players on the field. Okay, so the x-axis is the horizontal line, so the bottom line of the graph, the one that goes from left to right. The y-axis will be the one that's going down and up. Okay, so we're looking for the x-axis right now on it. So the x-axis is the numbers. So that is the numbers of players on the field. Okay. So or if you don't want to write it, you could um, just point to it. So you're aware of where it is. Okay. So remember, it's the number of players on the field. That's the x-axis. So we have 0 through 11. And then the second one says, can you identify the y-axis on this graph? What does it show? This is the y-axis going up and down. Okay, so that is showing the sports the players are playing, okay? So that shows the sports the players are playing. So, or you can even write for the y-axis, the x-axis, you could write just players, and then the y-axis, you could just write sports if you want to, and then just trace those words, okay? So the x-axis is the players, and the y-axis is the sports. Okay, so now let's go move on to our questions, okay? So it says, which sports have the most number of players on the field? So you're going to use your x-axis and go to the highest number, which is 11, okay? And you're going to look at which sport. So we hit this one, which is soccer, and this one, which is football, okay? So you're going to put football and soccer. Football and soccer. So this is a place where you could trace it, trace the words, okay? Which I usually do. Remember, I do dots for it, or you could just use a highlighter and fully write football and soccer, and then you could easily trace over it, okay? Now, number 2. It says, how many more players does the basketball team have than the beach volleyball team? So we're going to subtract. So you're going to look at basketball, which is 5, and the beach volleyball, which is 2. So I have it written out for us already. So you're going to do 5 minus 2. Okay? So we're going to count backwards. So 5, 4, 3. So our answer is 3. Then we're going to go to our worksheet, and you're going to write in 3. So the beach volleyball team has 3 less players than basketball, or basketball team has 3 more players than the volleyball team. Number 3, which sports have the same number of players? Okay, so we listed already soccer and football have the same amount, right? And then volleyball and ice hockey. So you're going to write it all out. Oops. So it's going to be football and soccer, and then volleyball, and ice hockey. Okay. So now, which sport has the least amount of players? So you're going to go on here and you're going to look at your numbers. And once you get to a bar with the lowest, you're going to look up. So right now it's 2, okay? So we see the number 2. You go up, and that is beach volleyball. So for this one, you could just circle it, okay? You could circle or write it. I think circling would be better because that will give us that we know that you see that is the least. So beach volleyball has the least amount of players. Number 5, how many fewer players does the lacrosse team have than the soccer team? So we're subtracting again, okay? So we're going to look at lacrosse has 10 and soccer has 11. Okay, so you're going to do 11 minus 10. Okay, so I have it written out here because it's easier to see than if I were to do it on the worksheet, okay? So we're going to do 11 minus 10. So we're just going to count backwards. So we're going to do 1 minus 0 first is 1. And then 1 minus 1 is 1, 0. So our answer is 1. So how many fewer players does the lacrosse team have than the soccer team? 1 is our answer. And our last question is, which sport has 9 players? So you're going to go to the number 9, and you're going to go straight up, and here we have, and I go across, and we have baseball. So that's another one where you can just circle it, or you can write it out. Or you could write baseball. And that is the end of our math for today. Good job!